You good, Perk? You ready?
Yeah.
You good to start? You good today?
Born ready, baby.
All right. Well, this is NBA Today on YouTube. Our studio is festive, and so are we. And the in-season tournament, it gets underway, or it continues in Las Vegas, rather, this week. And we saw another performance from LeBron James against the Phoenix Suns that just had us all questioning, sort of redefining what longevity means in the NBA. And Perk, I know we said we're in the festive studio right now, but let's actually pretend we're in the barbershop, because we're going to that debate.
Ooh.
We're going to the GOAT debate. Where does longevity and what LeBron is doing in year 21 factor into that discussion?
Oh, it plays a huge part. And I've been saying this all along. It's no other player ever in sports history that has had the amount of pressure and has sustained the elite play over a long period of time like a LeBron James. Look, we keep saying this year 21, but to be honest, this is like year 26, when he was 16 years old and he was labeled the chosen one. Like, this is how long he's been carrying the torch. Is my math right? My math was right, right? So this is like year 26 for him, because he's been having this target on his back since the age of 16. And so when you think about the level that he's playing at right now, one could still argue, and we could go back and forth. Forget being the greatest player of all time in my eyes. He can argue that he's still arguably the best player and still the face of the league right now.
Okay, I was actually digging before the show because I was so impressed with LeBron, especially what he's doing year 21. But there are some cases that can be made, Big Perk, so can I just list them for you if you're cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
You've got Tiger Woods, who was 43 at his latest major. In that situation, you have Serena, that was 37, almost 38 in her last Grand Slam finals.
Amen.
You have Tom Brady, who was 43 when he won his last Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you have LeBron James, who is averaging 25 in year 21, about to be 39 years old. And so I feel like in the conversation of overall sports sustained greatness, it's different per sport, because obviously to win a Super Bowl is very challenging. For Serena to compete at a high level since, I mean, if we're trying to say 26 years, how old was she when she went pro? And then even Tiger Woods, was it like around 17, 18 years old for him too? LeBron, I think what separates him, Perk, I know you're feeling some type of way based on me bringing those other people up, but LeBron, I think the case for him lies in the amount of sheer games. To average 25 playing 82 games or so a season, that is not easy. To invest in your body, it's like he saw that coming, $1 million, a year into his body, because he knew he had to do that in order to sustain his excellence. So I see what you're saying by sheer volume, but I do think that there are other cases about sustained excellence that work as well.
But it's not, and here's why.
Oh, okay.
Right, here's why I counsel the argument. Now, all those athletes that you brought up, no one can knock what they did in their career, right? Hell of a careers. But again, you left out a key word.
What?
Pressure. None of them had the pressure.
Serena didn't have pressure.
No. Time out.
Serena.
Listen, no one had the pressure at the age, okay? Like when Serena, no. When Serena first came about, we didn't expect.
She's a black woman in America entering that sport, and it wasn't a different type of environment. That was pressure.
Shanae, no, like no one expected her to be one of the greatest. No one expected Tom Brady.
But the expectations were there for LeBron James.
They were there since the age of 16. Like, anytime you label someone the chosen one.
The expectation for Serena was whenever she does decide to start, because remember, her family, her father wanted to make sure she completed her school, kind of kept that separated up until she went pro, because every coach was clawing at her saying, like, she will be that great once you let her.
Right.
And pressure comes in different forms.
Right.
I mean, Tom Brady, when everyone's, was talking narratives about his career, he had a different form of
But
pressure.
as a low pick versus like the chosen one. I get what you're saying.
He's supposed to be the transcendent power of
He was set up to fail. He came into the league set up to fail, and he's like succeeded those expectations.
Well, but of course, we're talking cross sport, and the fact that we're talking cross sport is a compliment to LeBron James.
Absolutely.
You know what? One name has not been said in this entire discussion. If we're talking about the GOAT, then of course we have to say
Michael Jordan?
Of course, Michael Jordan. He played until he hung it up at 40. And I know that his Wizards, all of that was different.
It was a lot.
But do you think that is going to be the #1 topic, right, that people bring up when they talk about Jordan versus LeBron, is the number of rings that they have? Do you think that longevity without a ring will be able to be a add for Uno card in this discussion?
See, and here's my pushback to that when people bring in championships. Does championships matters when you talk about all-time greats? Yes. but it shouldn't define
and
go over the
Bill Russell.
Because
yeah,
but because we're actually talking about a team sport.
And it's context.
Right?
It's three different championships with 3 different teams.
Yeah, but it's team sports, right? So you could do your part, right? I was part of that Cavs team where LeBron was averaging like 35, 12, and 12, and we lost to Golden State. It was nothing else that he could do. It was just the others not being able to live on their part.
Yeah.
And part of it was me, you know.
But you're right, Malika.
But I think it is oversimplified.
And I think Woj said it, was it last week? He said he is the greatest for the longest that we've seen in the game of basketball.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing, again, it's 82 games. At the age of 38, at the end of the year, he's going to be 39, averaging 25.
This month.
His team last year going to the Western Conference Finals, this year on the precipice of trying to do that again. To be that guy in the biggest moments like we just saw versus the Phoenix Suns in the in-season tournament, come on.
A 5th ring, and I'm not going to be. I was listening to some sports radio this morning. Was like, well, does the in-season tournament cup? That's a trophy. We're not going there. We're not saying that. But does winning another ring put an end to this debate if he has the longevity?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it have to be 2?
You know what's the crazy part? Is that we're sitting up here talking about him right now at 38. And 5 years from now, when he's 43, we could actually be saying the same damn thing.
Can we just even narrow down from, because one thing I know about the GOAT discussion, you never walk in with someone thinking Michael and someone thinking LeBron or whoever and change the other person's mind by the time you leave.
Correct.
Should he be in the MVP conversation this year?
Absolutely. Why not? Why not? I mean, what he's doing right now for the Lakers, the way he's controlling the game, and it's hard because we're in a different era right now. Like, we have over 40 guys right now that are averaging 20. Like, when I came into the league in 03,
it was a big deal to average 20.
The league leading score was averaging like 25.
Yes.
Right? You have 6 guys that are averaging 30 plus. So I can't look at the points and say, oh, he's just averaging 25 and where he falls. I'm looking at his impact, and I'm looking at when he matches up with those guys, what he's doing in that moment.
I mean, absolutely. I think if you can make a case for what Ant Edwards has done and is doing in Minnesota and say, hey, if we're going to talk about MVPs, you have to honor where the standings are and what he's doing, you can say the same thing about LeBron James. There are a lot of people that make cases early this season, but, I mean, we're talking MVP. I mean, Jokic.
At this point, we are at the point where Nikola Jokic, like someone else has to do something to push him off.
It is ridiculous.
Pedestal, but LeBron James is making that case. I mean, you kind of started to shake when you said ridiculous.
The numbers,
I know.
30 and 13
and the impact on winning. But it does feel like LeBron should and will be, as that conversation starts to ramp up over the course of season, in it. KD is going to be in it.
It's KD. It's Braun, it's Jokic, it's going to be
Jason
Embiid,
Tatum.
It's going to be Tatum, so it's going to be Giannis.
What?
So real quick,
Chiney's excited.
I have a vote. I actually have a vote.
Give me one, please.
So let me explain how I'm doing it. Whoever the player is with the best record, the best player with the best, and their team has the best record, that's who getting my vote. Because it's too hard to decide. You could throw SGA in that conversation. It's too many players out there that are actually deserving of winning the MVP.
That is a safe choice. I think oftentimes if you have to like create one rule of thumb, it's like best player on best team, but then you have to also honor those comets that go across the sky, you know, in the middle of the night where it's like, wow, that was beautiful, that was sensational. Those happen once in a while. But I was saying,
did you just draw a rainbow?
Yes,
I just was, we're in the sky. I was saying, if we're going to talk about MVP narratives, there's no better opportunity than the in-season tournament because we're seeing how guys are elevating their games. They care about winning this. They'll care about being that MVP.
Yeah.
They'll care about that. So if it's LeBron James trying to make his case, if he were able to win, that is absolutely going to help his case.
Right. 4 MVPs for LeBron James.
Championships, too?
Championships, too. It's not just about championships because we would be talking about Bill Russell and that go-kart. But it feels like at some point, like all of these factors, what LeBron is doing, the sustained excellence, it really does need to be taken into account. So you're welcome. You can bring this into whatever next debate that you all have at home with your family and see what they say. That's going to do it for us here at VA Today on YouTube. You can catch us at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN and the app. We'll see you there. Perk, what's for lunch?
Fixins.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. We're going to Fixins across the street.
You name it.
We're going there across the street.